Welcome to Stupid Motor Learning Tricks for Volleyball Coaching. I'm Mark Massey, and in video number 2, we're going to look at a natural extension of the transfer motor learning principle that we learned in video number 1, which is the initially counterintuitive hard first approach to teaching skills. However, by adopting it, we can actually speed up the learning of our players. But first, a practical example. Of course, this is our natural instinct to simplify everything for our players. And this makes sense, but only when they are in the very initial stages of learning or if very young. In reality, this is what we really need: hard first training, training where we throw our players into the deep end of the pool and see if they can make it back to the other side. The big question is, why? If you think back to the whole transfer of learning thing we addressed in part 1, we learned that our skill training needs to closely simulate competition in order to stick. Hard first training allows our players to grow up fast. The reason why is that when we split all of the game decision skills away from our technical ball handling skills, we no longer closely simulate the competitive situation that motor learning research tells us is so valuable for rapid lasting learning. Maybe an example with some patterns will help us learn here as a visual aid. If we think of the chaotic patterns and colors in the fabric in the upper right as the game, we see full-on craziness. The intense single-colored fabrics in lower left represent the simple typical repetition training drills we see so often in volleyball, intensely focused but missing the complexity of the game. The hard first training represented by the middle fabric adds some of the pattern of the game, the important cues so necessary to real learning, but slightly muted. The challenge for us as coaches, of course, is to determine how hard should hard first training be. If the challenge is too simple, then we end up creating volleyball babies with little growth. And if we challenge them too much, too quickly, we risk frustration with players getting stuck in their skill development. The key motor learning principle to remember here is that our skill training must be embedded in the game in order for the decision-making connections to develop. Without these vital connections between technical skills and decision-making skills, we create players who learn slowly and who have to repeat training over and over again. So once again, how hard should hard first be? Keep the key concept of reach in mind. As soon as the player develops some skill stability, about 60% proficiency, it is time to make them reach for the next level. Now, your players will often feel uncomfortable with this level of challenge. You may too as their coach, but their neurological learning system is prepared to help them learn more through hard first training well before their emotional coping system is. And this is where you get to earn your money as a coach, by helping them persevere through the discomfort of hard first training. Okay, so let's take a look at our bottom line takeaway from hard first training. In a highly technical and complex sport like volleyball, where decision-making is a critical part of success, developing 90% skill proficiency with machine-like repetitive drills is not the best way to develop skills that transfer into and hold up under competitive pressure. Instead, we are looking for that sweet spot that is just beyond the edge of comfort. The more capable our athletes are of learning to live in this zone of discomfort while training, the greater their capacity to benefit from connected hard first skill training. If you are ready to learn more about how to blend the science of coaching with the art of coaching, head on over to volleyballvideolightning.com right now.